All right, calling the meeting to order, 10/23/2025. First thing on the agenda is approval of the minutes of 10/2. Do we have a quorum for that?
One, two, because Mark, you weren't at the last meeting.
No, I wasn't.
I mean, you can, we have a quorum of those present right now, so we can, as long as everyone is comfortable.
Okay. Does anybody have any edits, modifications?
No.
To the minutes of October 2nd? I'm seeing head nods left to right, so no. So with that, do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of October 2nd?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Farrington,
Yes.
Upton,
Yes.
Barbara Iglevsky,
Yes.
Pasamato.
Abstain. All right, first up, 7 o'clock, request for minute order conditions, 118, 120 Turnpike Road, map 27, lots 118-4 and 120-4. In accordance with the Wetlands Protection Act, Master General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Southborough Wetlands Bylaw, the Southborough Conservation Commission will conduct a public hearing on Thursday, October 23rd, 2025 at 7 p.m. via virtual Zoom meeting. The commission will consider an amendment to an approved order of conditions, DEP number 290-1046 for a project located at 118 to 120 Turnpike Road, map 27, lots 118-4 and 120-4 for the applicant FD 120 Turnpike LLC. The project description is the modification to a current or conditions to include site improvements and not included in the approved project.
So we have Samuel here on behalf of the applicant. They submitted we sent it to Lucas for review as just a background, provided some commentary based on their review during the certificate of compliance request, and review that happened, I believe, last year. So following up on that, there was some kind of minor commentary about the invasive species coming within to the approved work limit area, and these sidewalks and ramps. So the last kind of item that we had this week that Lucas and Samuel had been back and forth was just waiting for a stamped plan. We received that. And then the suggested condition about having invasive removal within the limit of the project, the limit of work within the project, mostly in these landscaped beds, and making sure there isn't further creep. So Samuel, I don't know if there's anything you want to add, if you guys wanted to go over the plan quickly, just to kind of verify what these changes and what we're discussing are.
Sure. Yeah, I can pull up the plan, and thank you. So jumping into this, I think that one of the things that Lucas had noted was that there were site improvements that were made to the building at 118 Turnpike. These improvements are all within current developed areas around the building. Mostly was to provide additional access to storefronts for the building and to create an ADA access on the backside here. In total, we're looking at about 2,500 square feet of improvements. There's photos of these that I had taken about a month ago now. September 2nd. And this is the current condition of what it is right out there right now. So I believe we've addressed everything that Lucas was looking for as part of this request for the amended order of conditions. I have the plan stamped as well. So I guess with that, I can open it up for any other questions that anybody else may have on this one.
Melissa, you said we've received the stamp plan today?
A few days ago, this
A few
week.
days ago? Okay.
Yeah.
I see it signed, so, okay. I don't have any questions. Anybody else have any questions? No? Kevin?
No, I
No?
think I'm good.
All right, well, with that, I think we can close the public hearing.
Do we want to just ask for public real quick? Because it is technically
Oh,
a
there's
public
somebody out there?
Not technically, but just in case.
Okay,
I'm here if they need, yeah.
Yeah.
all right. If there's anybody from the public that would like to comment on this project, please raise your hand and Melissa will let you in the meeting.
Unsurprisingly, not seeing any.
There's no hands?
No, there's no hands. Do
Okay,
you want me to find some? I can do that.
all right, so do I hear a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Barrington,
Yes.
Upton,
yes.
Barbary Glevsky,
Yes.
Passamato.
Yes.
Okay.
We've got 4 minutes before we can open the next hearing.
Do we just want to issue it real quick then? I have that draft. That's basically the only condition was having that invasive removal from going into the project scope. Work limit.
Read my
Was-
mind.
Okay. Sorry.
Anybody else have any other special conditions they want to consider?
I did add just a finding of fact that this is in addition to the original conditions. This does not supersede. The only part that it supersedes is for the sidewalks and the ramp that we are discussing with that additional plan.
Yeah, so we're amending the original order conditions.
Mhm.
Yep, okay. Do I hear a motion to issue the minute order conditions with the special conditions as discussed?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Barrington,
Yes.
Upton,
yes.
Barbary Glevsky,
Yes.
Passamato.
Yes.
Perfect. All right, Samuel, we'll probably get this over to you at the latest on Monday, but possibly tomorrow via email. You should be all set.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you all, Commissioner. Take care.
Thank you. Have a good night. Any other suggestions, Melissa?
There's no updates on 229 Parkerville Road. I did talk quickly with the homeowner. He said he's working on a compliance letter. I don't know if you guys had specific questions from the last meeting that I might help to clarify. I think there was some, just reading through, I didn't watch the video, but I read Laura's minutes, some confusion on the 20-foot flags, and I had some blatant disagreement of where they were located. So, there's the wetland flag that runs, in a relatively straight line considering a wetland, kind of in a very clear, definitive path. So the 20-foot should theoretically jog in that same similar straight line. And, there's mention of the garden within the 20-foot area that was supposed to be removed. And so when you go out there, the line follows that 20-foot, I think pretty closely along the driveway, but then all of a sudden loops back into a horseshoe area. And that made it kind of obvious to me that that is not actually the 20-foot line, especially looking at the as-built. They've located the fence on the as-built as being kind of right at the 20-foot. So how that 20-foot flags of the homeowner place could somehow be in back of that additional garden that was supposed to be removed kind of doesn't jive with what's on paper and what I'm seeing in the field. Even the wetland flags are still there, in some places it's, I can stand there and it's, very close in front of me from where his white 20-foot flags are to where I think they were pink wetland flags, definitely not 20 feet. So that little horseshoe area where there's an existing garden, I'm very comfortable, stating that that is within the 20-foot. That is the garden that was to be removed and relocated. And where he has put the white flags in that particular area where it horseshoes out, they're not accurate, especially based on, the pin that they found where it is at the 20-foot, which appears along what would have been that straight line versus where he put the flags. So That's kind of where I am. It's, I guess it's confusing why there's disagreement with the homeowner on that. He says he measured it, but is in my way, no way you could measure that as 20 feet. So
So
That's
the
good.
homeowner is the one that placed the flags to delineate the 20 feet?
my understanding is yes, I think they had one survey pin put in at a 20-foot and just that one, and that's the one that's labeled on the plan. And so he did measurements off of the other flags and using that pin. It's just very convenient that it perfectly goes around that existing garden area.
You don't have to move it.
Yeah,
It was,
and it's that shape that doesn't exist on any plan.
there was also a question that came up about the infiltration unit, and the homeowner claimed that it was waived during the hearing. And so I went back and looked at the minutes from sometime in 2018.
Yeah,
It looks like it was questioned whether it needed to be there, and then Ben came back later and said, yes, it does. So
okay,
that's probably another thing.
okay. Yeah, I don't think I read the minutes from that particular meeting, but I, reread the conditions, and it was interesting how it's put it in the findings of fact, because it was just like the homeowner will not be installing them. Not that they don't have to, but it was just a statement of they will not be.
Oh, okay.
So reading the minutes, maybe that makes a little bit more sense of why it's phrased that way, of that it was, theoretically required, but kind of a preface that there would be some discontent at the end. Right.
All right, so are we waiting for something from the homeowner at this point?
Yeah, we're still waiting for the compliance letter and kind of his response to how he wants to move forward, especially with that 20-foot issue. But I think he's reached out to his engineer to ask for that, because we didn't even have a stamped letter from the engineer for substantial compliance.
Are they just trying to wrap up the open order, or is the house for sale, or?
No, they're just trying to wrap it up.
Okay. All right. All right, well, 7:13, so on to the next public hearing, which is request for determination of applicability, MBTA commuter rail right away, confirmation of resource area. So in accordance with the Wetlands Protection Act, Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Southwick Conservation Commission will conduct a continued public hearing on Thursday, October 23, 2025 at 7:10 p.m. via virtual Zoom meeting. The commission will consider requests of determination of applicability for a project located in the right-of-way for the MBTA commuter rail for the applicant Keola's Commuter Services. The project description is the confirmation of resource area boundaries. So this has been kicked around for a while.
So right before the last meeting, it sounds like you guys got some revised materials, plans, photographs, some updated diagrams. So you wanted some time to review those. I took a look at them. I see Matt's here if you have any questions. I didn't see anything of concern. I think a lot of the areas that we had discussed or I had highlighted were provided either video or photographs of that, and markings in the field. I think I read were updated accordingly with the changes to the plans too.
Yep, I would agree with all that. I think I gave a little presentation through it last meeting, and then we were just kind of waiting because I kind of did submit it the day of or the day before, so we were just they wanted you to take a look at it, and if everything seemed okay, we were seeking that positive 2A and negative determination.
I don't know if any members had any questions. I was satisfied with what was submitted. I think my questions were answered.
Anybody else have any other questions for the applicant? No? All right, so, determination of applicability. So, in all my years on the board, I've never had a positive and a negative in the same application.
Yeah, this isn't your stand. I mean, because it's like a railroad right away with a different set of regulations, the CMR 11 that we're in accordance with. So basically, the positive two-way determination is confirming the maps, and then the negative determination is approving the work that's included in the vegetation management plan. So it's very common. We did this with over 100 towns, and that's what we've been getting for determination is a positive two-way and a negative 2 and 3 or 5.
So Melissa, is there anything that we issue for the positive 2A?
Just so the positive 2A is stating that you're confirming the wetland boundaries. So that's what 2A is.
Okay, all right.
Mhm.
So I guess we can close the hearing. If nobody has any other questions. All right, do I hear a motion to close the hearing? Oh, wait a minute. Is there anybody from the public that would like to raise their hand and have any questions for the applicant? If you do, please raise your hand and Melissa will let you in. I see nobody but us.
Yeah, there's really no one here now.
Okay. All right, do I hear a motion to close the hearing? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Zulik,
Yes.
Barrington,
Yes.
Upton,
Yes.
Barber-Rublewski,
Yes.
Pasmato.
Yes.
Perfect.
All right, now, do I hear a motion to issue a positive 2A and a negative 5 determination of applicability for this application?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Zulik,
Yes.
Barrington,
Yes.
Upton,
Yes.
Barber-Rublewski,
Yes.
Pasmato.
I'm going to abstain because I didn't have all the details for this one, so.
All right.
All right.
Now we should
Thank
be
you.
able to get this to you tomorrow.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. All right, that's the end of our public hearings.
Fun times.
Violation 5 McNeil Drive?
Yes. So I think you guys got a quick update on this at your last meeting. Right before vacation, I was just driving through the area down White Bagley, and saw some clearing being done. It technically is on DCR property, but it was to the rear of 5 McNeil Drive. There was a sign for Templeman Tree, so I had reached out to the company to see which homeowner might be responsible for the work because it was kind of between two properties. I did hear almost immediately back, well, Laura did because I had left almost pretty much the day afterwards, from the owner of 5 McNeil Drive taking responsibility for it, very clearly stating their neighbors had nothing to do with it. And wanted to rectify the situation as soon as possible, was very responsive, and waiting for me to get back and reaching out to DCR at our suggestion because it is their property. So in talking with DCR, they have a long past of working with both this property and the adjacent property of encroachments onto the DCR land, to the point where this particular property has had to move their pool fence, onto or off the DCR property. So they're kind of talked to before about encroachments. Should have known that this wasn't really quite what they were supposed to be doing. But we're here today. So myself and 2 members from DCR, one from forestry, one from the environmental side, met with the homeowner on Wednesday, and talked to what some potential next steps could be. I was happy that, in the 2-3 weeks since I had last seen it, Vegetation is already growing back. There's definitely an existing seed bank in there, so there's no erosion. The area is very stable. There's a little bit of a slope and a berm up against the wetland edge, so nothing could have migrated towards there. So in thinking about future and restoration, what DCR would be accepting and what we would be accepting of, the homeowner originally wanted to rake it out and hydroseed it, but both me and DCR were, against it becoming lawn. It was a natural area before, and that's how they want it to be. So potentially doing some native ground cover, whether it's a native wildflower mix or the conservation mix from the wetland plants, and then potentially putting in some shrubs, both along kind of the banking where the wetland is, and maybe interspersed within the area that was cleared as well. So the homeowner is going to put together a plan within the next week to get back to me for the commission to review and approve, and DCR to look at a planting of this area. And we'll work off of that. DCR was very much wanted to make the point of that this area isn't to be kind of maintained in the future. So there was a little bit of invasive pressure. So that was something that the homeowner was also concerned about. So thinking about maintenance moving forward, and if they wanted to do some invasive removal, DCR might be open to it, but just kind of, once a year, possibly them be notified and approve it every time before it's done, and hand removal, not kind of brush cutting, not things like that. So kind of very selective, very specific, but the homeowners has been very cooperative, very responsive, and making sure that we're satisfied, DCR is satisfied. So I think at the next meeting, I will have a plan to show you of what they are proposing to rectify this issue. But yeah, otherwise very, very nice to work with, very easy to work with. I think they understand, they get it now. So all is moving forward.
Okay. Anybody have any comments? 5 McNeil? Nope. Okay. So that was new and continued business. Now it's updates.
Yes. So I am just gonna jump quickly back to just the stewardship. They're not here tonight. But I do want to give a quick update, and this kind of ties in with my Breakneck Hill farm dump update. I have, stewardship wants to make sure that the trail and oh my gosh, sorry, my brain, in meadow restoration is completed and to kind of the satisfaction that they need in terms of full restoration, and understanding that the limit of the meadow is in disagreement between the contractor and where stewardship agreed that the edge ran. So in kind of a compromise, as a reminder, strategic gave us some money back to do that meadow restoration. And we also have additional money from the warrant articles to continue to restore the rest of it that's kind of in a disagreement. So when talking with stewardship quickly, because they couldn't come, some of us couldn't attend tonight, between now and our next meeting, I'm going to be working with Joyce and Freddie a little bit more closely in going to the property, creating more discussions with contractors and a restoration plan, a plan for mowing of the dump area so that we don't have increased invasives that we need to deal with next year. And just kind of some other items to make sure that we are fully on track and that we have the correct funding needed to complete kind of the rest of the project as we saw it for the restoration side of it. There was also, the gravel that was still along the trail that was for the access road. there was concern of the silt fence was being removed, but it didn't seem like the gravel was. So the gravel is being removed. I do need to take another site look out there to see to what extent it was removed to make sure it's enough and not something that, doing in tandem with Joyce and Freddie and any other members of stewardship who would want to attend. And just making sure that we get a lot of progress. I think the site from a regulatory standpoint has met its 80% compliance rate, stabilization, but there are definitely pretty sparse and bare spots. In the more open areas that got a lot of sun and that very high heat, so the shadier areas are definitely growing in a lot better, and it's looking like it'll creep back in. TRC and the inspectors that have been going out there, feel pretty good about, next year, a lot more, growing in. Things are still germinating, so that's good progress. While yes, there's sparsity, things are still growing, so that's good, a good sign, even with the interesting weather we have had the last couple months. There hasn't been any erosion, which is great. Everything is stable. It's just getting it back to that pre-existing condition minus the trash. But so going to work, hopefully at the next meeting, we have a little bit of a better path forward. And we can find a good resolution, especially with stewardship and making sure that that path continues. I also got the fence agreement. So I got a vendor number set up. So that's all set. I had Strategic, our contractor, do an inventory of the fence just to make sure that we weren't charged for any missing pieces that, we are not responsible for. So I was waiting on that, but now that I have that, that's good. And then otherwise, just on open and active sites, 200 Turnpike, which is an addition and a salt storage shed, is finally on its way. So that's been moving. 250 Turnpike for the contractor's yard. There's a pre-construction meeting with planning next week that I'll be attending. So I'll know a little bit more about their schedule. 26 Granule, which we just approved for the garage, is getting started as soon as their building permit comes through. And the pool at 13 Foley has already started their excavation, so they are on their way. It's been kind of, I don't want to say slow, but it's been a little bit kind of holistically. So we do have a new/old building commissioner starting on Monday, Mark Robideau, and a building admin who we had has left, and the current admin up at Townhouse, Katie Berry, has actually been appointed as the building admin, so she's moving down with us. So I think that will give myself and Lara hopefully a little bit more bandwidth to get back to our jobs, which I think we're all very excited about. And focus a little bit more on the dump and kind of some open space aspects that I think have been lacking a little bit on my side. So yeah, otherwise we have a special town meeting on Monday at 6:30 at Trottier. If you're free, interested, there's a couple interesting things on there, depending on what you like in town. I'll forward out again. There's a volunteer recognition breakfast on Monday, November 3rd between 7:30 and 9:30 at Corderville Hall. It's drop-in. Feel free whenever. We do ask you RSVP, so I'll send out that link again. And I just got our budget request, so I will fill that out and have that ready for next year. For next meeting for next year. I think we got Lara's full-time hours at the perfect time because they've made the statement, no new hours, no new positions. So I'm very thankful for now having full-time assistance with Lara, because that wouldn't have happened, I think, for quite a while if we hadn't got that in. So that's kind of where we're at. Not a lot going on, but hoping to pick up some projects that have been on the back burner a little bit, and yeah, take it away.
Okay. Anybody have anything else to bring up, discuss? No?
Yeah,
Wow, we're gonna be done in a half hour.
I think this beat Liz's record when she was chair, right?
That was a tough act to follow.
Yeah.
All right, with that, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Zulik,
Yes.
Farrington.
Yes.
Upton,
Yes.
Barbara Yaglowski,
Yes.
Pasamato.
Yes.
All right,
Okay,
7:30.
yep, nice job. Thanks.
Have a good
everyone.
night, everyone.
Yep,
Everyone.
bye-bye.
Bye.